Every time parents look at their newborn, the first question that comes to mind is, who does the baby look like more, mom or dad? This curiosity is timeless and universal. Behind every smile, eye color, and dimple lies a fascinating story of DNA, chromosomes, and genetic inheritance at work. When a child is conceived, the first step in determining appearance begins with the transfer of genetic material. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, and each parent contributes one set, making a total of 46. These chromosomes contain genes, which function as tiny instruction manuals for building proteins, shaping everything from facial features to health predispositions. Each gene comes in different versions, called alleles, and the specific combination of alleles a child inherits dictates how traits are expressed. Some alleles are dominant, meaning they take precedence, while others are recessive, which only show when both parents pass down the same version. For example, brown eyes usually dominate over blue. So if one parent provides a brown eye allele and the other a blue one, brown is most likely to appear. However, inheritance is rarely as simple as one dominant trait overpowering another. Many traits are polygenic, meaning they result from the combined influence of multiple genes. Height, skin tone, facial structure, and hair type fall into this category, which explains why children are often a blend of both parents rather than exact copies. Additionally, genetic recombination during reproduction ensures the mixing of alleles into new combinations, making every child unique. This shuffling means siblings may look quite different even with the same parents. One child might inherit dad's nose and mom's lips, while another inherits traits from grandparents that seemed hidden in the previous generation. It is also important to recognize the role of the environment in shaping traits. Genetics may provide the blueprint, but environmental factors decide how the blueprint is executed. A child may inherit genes for tall stature, but remain shorter due to poor nutrition during growth years. Similarly, genes might provide curly hair, but environmental factors such as humidity and grooming habits influence how that hair looks on a daily basis. The relationship between nature and nurture is intricate, meaning inheritance is not a fixed outcome, but a dynamic process influenced by both biology and lifestyle. Ultimately, the question of whether a baby will look more like mom or dad cannot be answered with absolute certainty. Genetics is less like a rigid recipe and more like an orchestra, where multiple instruments come together to create a unique performance. Each child represents a new combination of traits, carrying family resemblance, but always maintaining as children grow. Parents notice more than just physical resemblances. They start spotting personality quirks, talents, and even habits that seem inherited. Why does the baby smile like dad or laugh like mom? Science reveals that inheritance is more than skin deep, extending into behavior, talents, and even subtle health predispositions. While physical appearance is the most visible outcome of genetics, the story doesn't end there. Traits such as dimples, freckles, or a specific curve of the smile are inherited through genes, but other features like temperament, abilities, and even health vulnerabilities are also passed down in subtle ways. Beyond simple dominance, other genetic patterns like codominance and incomplete dominance play a role. In codominance, both alleles express themselves, as seen in the AB blood type. In incomplete dominance, traits blend, like when one parent with curly hair and another with straight hair produce a child with wavy hair. These variations explain why many children appear to be a perfect balance of both parents. Another layer of complexity is added through epigenetics, the study of how external factors influence the activation of genes. Stress, diet, or lifestyle choices of parents before and during pregnancy can leave marks on genes, essentially switching them on or off without changing the DNA itself. For instance, a child may have a genetic predisposition to diabetes, but healthy eating and exercise can reduce the likelihood of the condition manifesting. This means inheritance is not destiny. Instead, it's a probability shaped by environmental factors. Behavioral tendencies also highlight the interaction between genes and environment. A child might inherit a parent's quick reflexes, musical ear, or even risk-taking personality, but the environment shapes how these traits develop. For example, a musically gifted child will only reach their potential if they are exposed to instruments and practice. Similarly, a child with a natural athletic build will thrive if they grow up in an environment that supports sports and physical activity. What makes inheritance even more fascinating is its unpredictability. Parents often find familiar traits in their children: mom's eyes, dad's grin, or grandma's laugh. Yet they also discover completely new combinations that neither side of the family can directly claim. This unpredictability is what makes every child a genetic masterpiece. Even siblings who share the same parents can look and behave quite differently due to the complex shuffling of alleles during conception in the end, the science of inherited traits shows us that babies are not carbon copies of their parents. They are unique blends, reflecting both continuity and novelty. Whether your child grows up to look more like mom, dad, or a surprising mix of both, their individuality is guaranteed. Genetics provides the foundation, but environment and personal experiences complete the picture, making every child a one-of-a-kind story in the grand narrative of family heritage.